This is the cha-cha. All right, so this is the cha-cha. This groove is used in tunes like Sway by Michael Buble, and probably most famously Oye Como Va, which is by Tito Puente and also performed by Santana. And it's used in jazz, it's used in Latin music, it's used all over the place. It's even used in like country music. I think My Maria by Brooks Dunn. So you'll see it everywhere. But anyways, I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna give you the super simple version of it. There's a number of variations, and depending if you have a conga player or not, depends on kind of what you're going to do. And I'm going to show you my version that I like to call the simple cha-cha that will allow you to emulate that conga part on the snare drum with the snares off, and then get kind of that bell sound that you would have that normally would be played actually on a cowbell. All right, so anyways, let's break this thing down. It's actually pretty dang simple. So the first part is very simply getting this ride cymbal and getting quarters on the bell, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can also play it with eighth notes going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, the key here is you're emulating or simulating a cowbell, right? That would normally be played by like a timbale player or something. The second part, and that is this part right here. So the conga part you're emulating is actually, well, I'm going to try to play it with my hands on the snare. This might be a little bit rough, but it's this part. That's what you're trying to kind of simulate. And so in order to do that, I actually turn the snares off. Now you can play this with snares on and play it on a tom, depending on the style that you're trying to do. But I like to do it with the snares off because I think it sounds kind of cool. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a cross stick to get a slap that's being played on the conga. And then I just play 2 hits with the back of my stick. Right, those would be the open tones of the conga. So this part is 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you have a high tom, you can play it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And either way works. I like to do it with the snares off. I think it sounds kind of cool. Plus, when I fill, kind of sounds a little bit more like a conga drum, right? I mean, kind of hitting like little slaps and stuff. So anyways, so putting these two together, we've got this sound. So we're going to create these quarter notes. We got 1, 2, ready. Get your quarter notes going. 1, 2, that's our bell part. Then I'm going to add that slap. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Now, one of the tricks to this is you'll notice my right hand keeps doing those quarter notes, and then my left hand has to play 2 notes off of that. So there's a little bit of coordination there. I'll play that one more time, nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, together, and 1, 2, 3, together, and 1, together, 3. And then to make this the simplified version, all I'm doing is putting a bass drum hit on 1. And there's a bunch of different variations for the bass drum. Typically, those bass drum parts are actually emulating, again, the conga and tumba, which are 2 different sized drums. So usually the conga player plays. Right, that's a bad simulation on the drums, but on the toms, but in the snare. But you get the idea. So that's usually what's happening. So we're going to play a very simplified version, and all we're going to do is add that quarter note on the bass drum on 1, and then I'll show you how to put the hi-hat in there to spice it up just a little bit. So we're just putting the bass drum on 1, adding with the ride cymbal 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, add the bass, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now add the snare, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and bass, 2, 3, 4, and bass, 2, 3, 4, and bass, 2, 3. And then the last thing I like to do is I like to get the quarter note going, because if you actually have a timbale player, they'll usually play on the rim. They'll play like on the shell of the drum. They'll usually play something like that, like a little, right? So that kind of pushes the beat. So I add that in the hi-hat, right? So now I'm basically simulating what multiple players are doing. My bell's gonna basically play my cowbell part, and then I'm gonna play that conga here, and then put that bass drum on one to kind of keep it simple. So here we go. I got my quarter notes and the hi-hat. Let's add the ride. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now add the bass. 2, ready, go. Bass. 2, 3, 4. Bass. Now add the conga part. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. All right, and then at a little bit brighter tempo. 1. And that is the cha-cha.